choose from many. So, hey guys, welcome to 1 Million Cups. My name is Diana Pastrana. I'm the lead organizer of the 1 Million Cups in Madison. So thank you to our regulars for coming, and welcome to our students that are here. This is Sarah, and she is going to just tell us a little bit about the group that we have with us today.
So my name is Sarah Bumbenik. I come from the Division of Continuing Studies on campus. And the students who are joining you today are a cohort from various universities in China. They're undergraduate students with various majors, but they're here for a 3-week program called UW Advance. And the focus for them is big data. So they're here for 3 weeks visiting campus. They attend English as a second language classes in the morning with myself. And then in the afternoon, we try to expose them to a variety of field trips and tours and seminars, somewhat related to their theme of interest. And we're really excited to be here today. This gets them off campus, gets them to see some of what makes Madison so awesome and unique. And so we're just excited to be here and listen in and maybe participate if we're not too nervous. But yeah, thank you for welcoming us and letting us be here with you.
Yeah, thank you. So 1 Million Cups is an organization that spans through the whole country. There's 163 locations, so we are one chapter of that larger effort. And the effort is to connect entrepreneurs with the community, give them immediate feedback, and help them network, essentially, and get some exposure. So a couple things that we do for that is we do, like presentation-wise, we do a 6 to 10 minute presentation, and then we have a very active question and answer session that normally goes about 20 minutes. We do have the opportunity to film the event. Sometimes we live stream, so that the presenters can they can see their presentation and get feedback for themselves that way. They can also use it to promote themselves to future clients or venture capitalists, stuff like that. So that's a great thing. Field 59 does that for us, so they're a very generous sponsor. Dream Bank is another sponsor for us. They give us the space and the coffee, and Starting Black is the one who made that all happen for us. So we're very grateful for our sponsors here and for our attendees.
Would it be possible for people to set up a 1 Million Cups in China?
Very possible. Well, actually, now that I say that, I don't know if the Kauffman Foundation goes internationally, but just to mention, we will not be having 1 Million Cups here on August 22nd. The Ven Fair and the Badger Startup Summit is on August 22nd, so do not come here, go there instead. If you need to get tickets, if you have a forward pass, it's included. If you don't have a forward pass, you can register online. We are still looking for 1 or 2 sponsorships for the Ven Fair, so if you're interested in that, please get in contact with me. And we have a couple positions left for the pitch and replay. So if you guys are interested in pitching an early stage idea all the way up to something a little bit more established 5 times in the course of an afternoon and getting feedback from mentors and community members, it's kind of like 1 Million Cups speed dating. So if you're interested in that, please contact me and I will get you connected with people who register for that. So, and if you do that, you get a free ticket?
Yes.
Yeah, you get a free ticket to the event if you pitch. So
The whole day.
The whole day, yeah. And there's talks in the morning about disruptive companies in different fields. So speeches in the morning, Ven Fair for lunch, and then pitch and replay in the afternoon. So that is that, and that is all the announcements I have.
Yes, I don't think I have any announcements to add.
If you guys want to present here,
Yes, we're all just
looking for presenters. So that's us. So we are going to go around the room today and just introduce ourselves. If you guys just want to go back and forth across the aisle. You can talk about what you're studying, students, if you'd like. If you're uncomfortable, you can pass. My name is, again, Diana Pastrana. I'm the lead organizer of 1 Million Cups. I'm also with M&M Office Interiors in Middleton, Wisconsin.
My name is Josh Helling. I'm an entrepreneur with a background in software product development. I'm one of the co-organizers here. I also work with startups and small companies on their technology and product strategy needs.
Hi, I'm Derek Rodriguez, founder of NICE, platform for digital evidence.
I'm DP Knudten. I'm a creative collaborator. I work with people on everything from custom writing, full-born nonfiction branding.
Hi, Sarah Lasker, Healthy and Huga, Life and Wellness Coach.
I'm James Kademan. I have calls on call answering service as well as draw in customers business coaching.
Hello guys, my name is Tom and I come from Nanjing State, China. My major is applied mathematical and I'm very interested in mathematical and art and technology. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Jiang and I come from Nanjing University. My major is information security, which is an information technology major. Because I am interested in IT, so I want to learn more about it.
Hi, good morning. Welcome. My name is Juan. I work with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. We are the economic development arm of the state of Wisconsin, and we work with small companies and startups, and also with a lot of the investors that fund the startups.
And Javier, and I'm glad Juan did that because I work with Juan.
Again, my name is Sarah Bumenick. I work with the UW Division of Continuing Studies, both in coordinating non-credit programming and also teaching English as a second language.
My name is Matt. I am trying to launch a startup, a tech startup. Our product is feedback software for the workplace. We're oriented toward relationships specifically, and we're currently prototyping.
JD Caff, Rothschild. It's a wealth management firm here in Madison.
Hi everyone, my name is Connor and I'm from China. My major is computer science.
Hi, my name is Ben Shane and I'm from China as well. I came here for a shop visit in UW Madison and my major is software engineering.
Hi everyone, my name is Li Renong and my English major is Leo. I'm majoring in computer science and technology. And Madison is a really good place and friends. People there are very friendly, so I like this city here. Thank you.
John Helt, Masscase Products, training products for fire and emergency responders.
My name is Trezzy. I'm a software engineering and CTO services consultant.
I'm Qing Xiao. I'm from China, Shenyang, Northeastern University. My field is mostly in medical image processing, and my major is computer science.
Hello everyone. My name is Linda. I also come from Northeastern University of China, and I have been doing research about deep learning and machine learning.
Morning everyone. My name is Kai and I'm from Northwestern Technical University and I'm majoring in automation.
Hello everybody, my name is Boy and I'm majoring in hot energy. I'm from the Northeastern University. It is my first time to go abroad, and I very enjoy my experience here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stella, and my major is animation, and got interest in art management and business.
Hello everyone, my name is Mandy. I'm from Northeastern University, majoring in the natural material, and I'm a member of Enactors, one international student group focused on the volunteer work. So I'm interested in the voluntary work in the community.
I'm Jim Torella. I'm relatively new to the Madison area, so I'm just getting out and trying to meet people and learn how it's seen. I'm a technology and operations consultant.
I'm Alan Dines. I'm with WISP Partners. I'm a Merlin mentor and I'm co-chair of the Badger Startup Summit. So if anybody's got questions about that, I'll be able to help, as well as Diana or this next guy next to me.
Hi, I'm Dennis Barnum, serial entrepreneur, investor, Merlin mentor, mainly working in medical IoT right now, but I also am with the Badger Startup Summit. I run the pitch and replay in the afternoon that Diana mentioned. So if you have an idea that you want to pitch, get the practice of pitching and get immediate feedback, come and see me. I'll tell you more about it. We still have 3 slots left, and you get a free pass for the full day if you do it. So.
Hi, my name is Christian from Northeastern University. My major is Internet Finance.
I'm Charles. I'm from the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China. I'm majoring in information security and cryptography. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Will. I'm from Northeastern University in China. My major is software engineering and I'm interested in deep learning and machine learning now. And I also like to share and discuss ideas with others. If you want to develop something, I'm very glad to discuss with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Paul and I'm from Northeastern University like Will and my major in biology and engineering. So I'm came here for something about medical machines and this is my main point here in Madison. That's something.
My name is Lan and my major is biology. I also come from Northeastern University and it's really nice being here.
Hello, my name is Verly, and my major is architecture. And I love architecture and arts, and I'm always excited about fantastic ideas, innovative ideas.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris. I'm a junior student and my major is bioengineering.
Hello everyone, I'm Lillian and I'm here to learn some meaningful and interesting and some awesome ideas. And my major is economics. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I also come from Northeastern University and my major is accounting. I came here for a 3-week program which is focused on big data, and I wonder how can big data to use in accounting, and it's really nice to be here. Thank you.
And congratulations to you, Derek.
Oh, I'm Derek Gebler. I'm with Field 59 and How News, and we're a software as a service online media company that provides services for television, broadcast, radio, and newspaper.
Great. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce today's guest, Ho-Jung Kim from Homecooked. So, take it away.
Thanks, Josh. Good morning, everybody. I just want to quickly give a shout out to Josh and the rest of the 1 Million Plus community because, I mean, they're very supportive, they're amazing, they're everywhere in the U.S. and it's really great to hear that you guys are focused on local communities. And as you'll hear in a moment, that is something that we really believe in. So my name is Ho-Jung Kim. As of today, over 1,000 people have taken a chance on a new social dining platform called Homecooked. And they've had a blast. Our guests tell us each home-cooked experience is intimate, fun, and above all, unique. And that's because we're turning dining tables into spaces for new connection. Homecooked is a social dining platform that lets you join the table at home-cooked meals made by people in your neighborhood. Each experience takes place in the chef's own home in small groups of 6 to 8 people. Here's how it works. When you first open our app, a feed appears displaying the profiles of chefs hosting events in your area. Next, you select events based on the profiles of the other people attending. For example, let's say I'm going to an event and let's say Christina is going to an event and you want to join her at the table. On Christina's profile, for example, you can see some of her passions and interests. If you and her have interests in common, they would light up in green. We've found that common interests make people feel comfortable to join the table. After the guest is approved by the chef, we provide them with directions to the venue. The chef greets each guest at the door and invites them into their home. The food, the intimate setting of the home, and the carefully curated group of people, all of these ingredients mix to cook up a warm and inviting experience. For chefs, Homecooked is a fun and flexible way to share their cooking with people in the community. On average, meals range between $15 to $30, but ultimately chefs determine the booking price based on the cost of ingredients and how much time they worked. They take 85% and we take a 15% cut. In fact, guests love the Homecooked experience so much that they do our marketing for us. Whether that's inviting their friends, recommending new chefs, or even posting about us on social media. And they do that because each experience is a unique memory. Past events have included grill sessions outdoors, walks to the park at sunset, and even a pool party. That unique flavor does not currently exist in the market landscape. Alternative services like Eat With or Feastly may provide a similar basic concept, but they act as mere booking websites for professional quality food events. We've differentiated ourselves by focusing on the social quality. From basic details like the 6 to 8 person group size, to larger features like our recommendation algorithm for tables with people who share your interests. We've designed every aspect of the user experience around that core philosophy. In our 7 months of operation, we've raised $25K in non-dilutive grant funding, with $15K coming from our participation in the Yale Summer Fellowship, an accelerator run by the Yale Entrepreneurship Institute. At the start of the summer, the team there asked us this: if you only had 2 months left to work on Homecooked, what would you make sure got done? We told them we wanted to build an MVP, implement a scalable media and sales strategy, and above all, intimately understand why our users love the Homecooked experience. These were supposed to be stretch goals. We hit every single one. We released the app on demo day on July 26th. We're using social media to highlight our chefs' personal stories and showcase our brand's personality. And lastly, over the past 8 weeks, we ran 13 events and recorded scores of user interviews. We learned that guests love the informality, the unique flavor each chef brings to the table, and the opportunity to engage with people they wouldn't normally meet. This fall, we'll be implementing a referral program and expanding to new cities. We're also leveraging the networks of food influencers like YouTube and Instagram chefs by inviting them to our meals in New York City and San Francisco. That'll help us drive organic growth without sacrificing the quality of the experience. We hope to welcome 800 chefs into our community, hit 50 cities, and run 8,000 events by the end of 2020. Currently, Team Homecooked has 3 members. Eric, our CTO, single-handedly built our app this summer. And the reason he joined Homecooked is because he came to a test event and found the concept so compelling that he reached out to me the next day. Kevin, our COO, grew up working in his parents' restaurant, his parents' Chinese restaurant, where he developed a passion for making and selling delicious food. And finally, I'm the CEO. My frustration with today's social isolation compelled me to study the psychology of loneliness. I found that 57% of all meals in the US are eaten alone. And I decided to build a social dining platform to reconnect people. Eating together promotes trust, belonging, and above all, a sense of community. We envision a world without strangers at the dining table, where tables are always open. Thank you very much.
Just to be totally clear, when you say chef, you're referring to that grassroots homeowner who's making food in their own home, correct?
Yeah, exactly. What we mean is, by chef, it can be a really broad term. Anybody that wants to share their cooking with their community. By no means does this mean professional quality chefs, which is kind of what our competitors focus on. Yeah.
Are you based in Chicago or New Haven or both? Or?
Yeah, so currently we're based in New Haven. And I'd say in the next 4 to 5 months is when we're hoping to expand to new cities. Right now, it's more of a closed beta.
Okay, so, and that's my question, because this actually could be open technically to anybody that can access your website, right?
Yeah.
So do you turn those people down now, or?
Currently, because we want to make sure that there's still a lot of aspects of the experience that we're trying to prove out, to make sure that we really have right.
Sure.
And so in the meantime, we do turn people down for now, saying that we'll open it up in a couple months.
And what do you have to do to go to a new city?
We could just let it run, but
what is your plan?
Yeah, we could just let it run, but we want to kind of formalize the process where we take a number of a quota of signups based on the size of the city, just kind of each unique city, and say, okay, if we get X number of chefs and Y number of guests, then after we reach that sign-up quota, that's when we'll open up the city.
You do something like Eat Street, I don't know if they still do it, but they have like an ambassador. When they want to move into a new town, they have like a local ambassador who kind of coordinates things. Are you going to use that model, or are you just simply going to do everything over the net?
So we found that the chefs and guests, they act as our ambassadors locally. They drive the experience themselves. And so that's kind of the So Far Sounds model, if you've heard of it. It's a kind of a grassroots music concert app that's a little bit like Homecooked. And what they do is they take local volunteers and they have them organize all their community efforts.
Just a suggestion, I mean, it may be that somebody really likes the idea that's placed, say, in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And if you share a little bit with them, they may expand the network a little bit faster, just a thought. I don't know, maybe you thought about that, but.
Yeah, actually, that's a little bit of what we hope to accomplish with the referral program. And what that will be is a referral and rewards program for not only people with larger food networks like Instagram and YouTube influencers, but also people just kind of, like you and me, who want to invite their friends to the platform. Know chefs that would be really interested in the experience. Yeah.
So I have two thoughts. First of all, this is amazing. I love this concept.
Thank
I
you.
would totally use it left and right. What I would really want to see locally is people of different ethnicities, because what I feel like I can't get at a restaurant is like actual home-cooked Mexican food or Indian food, like the real food that like their grandma makes. Like that's what I would want to see, is like a real focus on like the ethnicity in the food that's being prepared. And then the other thing I think of is when I travel, it would be really cool to meet locals and be invited to their table and really have like that next level experience. Because I hate like tourism, but I love travel.
Yeah.
So like instead of going to Red Robin down south, I would so much rather go into somebody's home who's like a chef. So like, have you thought about that from like promoting different types of food and using it as a travel tool?
Yeah, we have. So I mean, we talk about kind of this local grassroots movement. But even when you're traveling, if you want to feel like you're a part of the home, a part of that community as well, even when you're traveling, that's something that we thought about. Actually, when we originally thought of the idea, so my mom is Korean, Kevin's Chinese, and Eric is Vietnamese. That's something we thought of as well, like sharing different cultures, but with kind of a more authentic, like really organic taste. Yeah.
Just following up a little bit on what Diana was saying, can you share a little bit more about what you've learned about what people are willing to pay? So, for example, for the chef, what kind of incentive to them? How much are they likely to charge on a per person attendee basis? If I am in a town traveling and I go out to dinner, I'm probably going to spend $50 for dinner easily. Is that the kind of numbers that a person attending one of these would be likely to pay, or what do you know about what the willingness to pay is and how that's going to drive your finances?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. I'm going to get off the stage. Yeah, that's a great question. So it's a little bit complicated because originally we were just going to allow all chefs to charge whatever they want, completely have autonomy over their booking price. And we found that the majority of our chefs didn't actually know how to structure their pricing. And we don't, Airbnb solves this by having a pricing recommendation tool. But the problem is we can't really know much about each of our individual chefs' cooking experiences. So we can't say, oh, this chef, they might be able to charge $50 and it would be a fine experience. What we're doing is we're instituting a level system. And so for each corresponding level, the chef has a different price cap that they can host, a different booking price cap, and they can host for a higher frequency during the week. So like 2 times a week, 3 times a week. And chefs advance levels by getting positive reviews and ratings from their guests. And so what that does is it kind of acclimates chefs into structuring the experience and throwing these more and more complicated menus and social experiences. And that's how that kind of goes in line with the price.
So I guess the major reason a chef might want to do this is a way to kind of augment his or her income.
Yeah.
And in contrast, the major reason a person as an attendee would want to do it is to meet new people, to have a new eating experience, have an authentic, Mexican food or authentic Peruvian food, whatever. Is that? I mean, I think what's really interesting about this is you're working to leverage social media, and there's a bunch of companies that are out there attempting to do exactly that same sort of thing, but with a little different focus. So, for example, I think you mentioned music. Upstairs, there's a company called Boom, which is basically using social media to help people discover new musicians that aren't well publicized. There's a woman here in town who's running a company that is helping to do local travel experiences. When you come to a city and you're interested in getting something besides what the touring groups offer, can you have some sort of an authentic tourism experience? So a lot of what you do could fit beautifully with those companies helping to expand their networks. And likewise, it would help you expand your network. Because any one of those groups could effectively be ambassadors for what you do, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. So I'm not actually, my hometown is Madison, but I'm not based here year-round. I'm just kind of stopping over here on the way to another place. But partnerships are definitely things that we've thought about. We're trying to work something out with So Far Sounds, which I just mentioned in answering your question a minute ago. Yeah.
Where are you headed, if it's not Madison?
We're trying to head right now.
You just said it's not Madison, that you're headed other places.
Oh, I meant like currently I'm stopped over here and then I have like a 6-hour drive ahead of me to St. Louis.
Oh, you work out of St. Louis?
No, so we work out in New Haven, but I'm going to St. Louis right now for a pitch competition.
Oh, cool. You're on your way to Archkrantz?
No, Archkrantz is like sister organization. It's called First 50K. It's in Cape Girardeau. It's like 2 hours south of St. Louis.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks, man.
I've got questions about quality control and liability. Yeah. Is there a feedback mechanism for attendees to rate chef hosts?
Yeah. So as I was mentioning in answering, what is your name? Alan's question. As I was mentioning in answering Alan's question, the level system also kind of works in that users, guests, they provide reviews and ratings about each chef. And we found that in terms of a liability standpoint, it's in a similar market to Airbnb or Uber, which is similar in the sharing economy. And the regulation around that is kind of a gray area. The best thing that we can do is work with individual public health departments in different municipalities, which all have different regulations surrounding what this is. It's not a restaurant, it's not catering, it's kind of a new market category.
Yeah, the difference is if you have a bad Airbnb experience, you have a bad Airbnb experience.
Right.
You have a bad meal, you could die.
Yeah.
Well, wait, you could die in Airbnb too. Some weirdo underneath the bed.
But food safety is an exponentially greater risk.
Sure. That's much more common.
Yeah.
What the best thing that we can do is we want to try to. At level 0, a chef has to host a test event. And at that test event, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get public health officials to explicitly attend that event. And then we obviously we pay for that. Well, we don't have to pay anything. Other guests attend and they kind of all figure out, okay, is the chef right for this?
Well, that's where the city ambassador thing could be a great quality control gate. Because if they attend all those events and kind of give the good housekeeping seal of approval, then that certainly helps your quality, which makes your entire brand a much more quality experience. Just to follow up quickly, are you planning to create a community alongside it? Because I can see myself attending one of those great New Orleans dinners that's done by a Creole chef, and I'm just geeking out about it, and I meet some people there, and we become friends, and all of a sudden we're going on vacations together to go to new places to try this type of experience.
All over a meal.
Well, yeah, but that's how it happens. You travel with someone who meshes with your biorhythm, if you will. You want to keep it. You want to stay with them. So community, I would think, would be a huge deal.
Yeah. So eventually, we don't really think of it as a booking website in the same way that our competitors think of it, or even how Airbnb is very much a booking website. What we want to do is create a social network around it. And so basic features like messaging, adding people as friends after, so like you can have home-cooked friends. These are people that you attend meetings with, and then that'll work in your recommendation after. Like if somebody that you really vibe with, you add as a friend later, and you see, oh, they're attending an event. Like, it's much more likely that
marriages are going to happen because of this. I'm not kidding. You've got to take advantage of exploiting that, because that is the talk about human connection. It doesn't get more connected than that.
This sounds better than Tinder to me. So.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's Tinder with food.
That's actually, he always talks about that. He's like, it would be so awesome if, I just want, my goal with Homecooked, this is Kevin speaking, our CEO, he's like, my goal with Homecooked, I just want somebody to tell me, we met through Homecooked and we got married.
It will happen.
It will. I mean, so I studied psychology, social psychology specifically, and but mainly psychology. And a lot of the aspects of this experience, they're designed for people to just trust each other. The small group size, the fact that it happens in the home, the chef joins you at the table, and that it's around food. All of these are really, really key ingredients to forming these long-term relationships, whether that's friendships or marriages or, what have you.
No, I see it. It's very, very cool.
What you're describing, that Huga, that my business is healthy in Huga, that's Huga, is the Danish concept of everyone kind of coming together and sitting around the table. Everything you're describing, look into that concept. It was a big buzzword in the a couple years ago, but yeah, this is.
Yeah, we're presenting in Copenhagen actually.
Yep.
Like a month, so.
All right, so it is 9 o'clock. One last question.
Listen, if anybody wants authentic Mexican, let me know. Can't guarantee good food, but great atmosphere. How do you get around regulatory barriers? Like a lot of municipalities are, as he mentioned, food is heavily regulated, where a lot of the things that you prepare, if you're going to sell them or somehow earn a thing of value for that food, it needs to be prepared like in a commercial kitchen, and you need to be certified, especially if you're going to do it out of your own house. Yeah. So how do you get around those barriers?
So I have a legal answer, and then what is actually my answer. So lawyers say that you can classify it as selling a social experience, and therefore you aren't really liable. Or at least Homecooked isn't liable. That's the lawyer answer. And my answer is it's complicated. I don't really know. Ideally, what I'd like to see is that public health officials, we're actually our local ambassadors, as you mentioned, and we're actively involved in helping us create the experience. But it would be very new. It would be something that we'd have to work on, something that we'd have to kind of figure out over time. There's no easy answers, what I'm trying to say.
So the final question we always ask our presenter is, what as a community, what can we do for you? So what can Madison do for you right now to get you going?
Yeah, so right now we are in closed beta, but I'd say we're trying to hit Madison in the next 2-3 months. This is my hometown. And something that would be really helpful right now, I don't actually, can you guys read that email address? I realize that the screen is locked yet. But this is our contact. And what would be extremely helpful is we're still building out the app. If anybody has UI, UX recommendations, or just kind of as you're using, you don't have to be a UI, UX designer to realize like when you're using the app, oh, this would be better. Oh, this feature is something I would enjoy. If you can download it, just looking up Homecooked on the App Store. And if you have any specific feedback, we'd really appreciate it. If you, just anything that comes to mind with the experience, with the app, anything.
All right, thank you very much.